Hi my wonderful weirdlings, this is Beyond Authentic, where we go beyond the mundane to tell you all about authentic witchcraft. My name is Lisa and today's video is hopefully the first in a series, but you're going to have to let me know if you're interested. This is witchcraft on a budget, so it's all about thrifting, secondhand shops, tip shops, all of that. If you're looking for some low-cost witchy type items, stay tuned. So then I have here a whole bag of items that I have bought from various charity shops and from the tip shop, which is another type of charity shop here in Leeds. So I've got to say, you'll notice there's a certain bias in here for jars and little pots and things like that. But I'm gonna try and get a few items. Oopsie, I'm gonna get a few items out before I drop this bag, because it is really heavy. So we're just gonna pull some random items. Oh, lots of glass jars and things. So there's lots of items in here. So I guess we'll just start at the beginning. So then I picked up 2 of these little jars. Now, this could be like a tea coffee decanter. They could be all sorts of things. They could have been Dow Egberts for all I know, because I have seen the empty coffee jars for sale in the tip shop, and this came from the tip shop, or both of these came from the tip shop. Now, though, as I say, there were 2 of them with a bit of sellotape together, and I think they would have only been maybe £1 for the 2. Now this one, as you can see, is still pretty grubby and dirty and a bit yeah, in need of a good wash. But this one is already being used. This has got my peppermint in it, so it's got dry peppermint. So all I did was to wash it inside and out really well to make sure that it was properly clean, and then I cleansed it. So I actually used a little bit, and I can show you it now, I can show you the actual product. I used a little bit of the smudge spray, and I use this in place of incense and things. So I literally just give it a little squirt, one on the inside, one on the outside, and it just cleanses things. So basically that is something that I've done with, or I've done with all the items as I use them. And to be honest, pretty much since I did the first video with moon magic and started using a smudge spray, because that was the first time I was like, oh, I know what I can do. I've been using my sprays to, in place of any cleansing, in place of any incense or smoke cleansing. So yeah, but you can use incense, you can use smoke, all of that, if that's what you want to do. It's obviously, for me at the moment with Rufus's asthma and especially after his long COVID and his battles recovery, the last thing I'm going to do is to do anything that's going to make that worse. So I use my smudge sprays, and again, I'll put the details down below of where you can get these. It's actually something that I now make myself. But anyway, so as I say, this one's got all the peppermint in, and it's just, it goes in behind, you can't see, but behind me over there I've got all sorts of different types of jars. Some are kind of slightly more decorative, some are like this, they're just very functional. It's designed to hold my peppermint, you know what I mean, when I need some dried peppermint. I then picked up, let's go for this one next. This is a little, it's got a couple of crystal chips in it, just because they were still in there from, I had it in the lounge. I've been using this. So this is just a little, I guess it's like a little tea coffee pot, possibly a camping pot, I don't know. Again, it came from the tip shop. I think it was only about 50p, but I like it because it's got a nice airtight container. So eventually it's going to be used possibly for herbs and things, but also just here behind me, oh, I've got my original little travel altar that I made for a video, and I will put the link to that just up here in the corner. So if you haven't seen that video, go and watch it. It's quite a fun little video of what's in my travel altar. I'm not going to be able to get this open now, am I? But yeah, anyway, go and check the video and you'll see what's in here. But I actually just thought, when I saw this other tin, I actually just thought that this might make a really nice little travel altar for someone else. But also, as you saw with that one, I found that a little bit difficult to get in, whereas this, especially with my fibro, like, I can manage to lift that up, you know what I mean? So I'm thinking about maybe adapting this for my travel altar rather than using that one, because when that lid is down, I find it very difficult to get that open. So again, if you want to see me transform this one into a travel altar, it'll be very similar to that, but just a bit deeper, means I can get a few more items in it. But if you want to see that video, do leave a comment down below, and I will, if there's enough interest, I will film myself adapting that one. Next up is this jar. Not the contents, but the jar itself. And this is virtually identical to one that I've got sat over there. In fact, I think it is absolutely identical. Then that one came from, I think it was Asda. I think I want to say it was £3 or £4, whereas this came from the tip shop and it was £1. Look, the yellow stickers on there. And it's just a really lovely, sort of the old sweet style jars, I call them. And it would just go on my apothecary shelf, probably with either rosemary or lavender in, because they're sort of two of the herbs that I use the most. But also I'm looking at getting some dried nettles or some nettles from the garden and drying them and grinding those in my pestle and mortar, so I've got nettles for use throughout the year. So maybe that's something I'm going to do. I haven't decided what's going to go in it yet. I managed to pick up all sorts of little knick-knacky items. Now these are items that I'll probably just keep in a little pot, or maybe in a little basket, or maybe in some of my drawers, and they're just going to be items that will go on and off my altar depending on what my altar is. So I found a really nice little silver plated picture frame that was 50p, and what I intend doing with this is putting a little deity image in there, or possibly a sigil or a rune, just putting something in there to remind me, not necessarily for like a daily working or anything, but maybe just something that I can use for a you know, like for a Sabbath or something, for a special occasion. Or even just put a little piece of white paper and maybe use like these dry whiteboards, the whiteboard pens, and actually draw a sigil on like that, so then it can sit there temporarily and then I can just wipe it off maybe for the next day. Interesting. Again, not sure what I'm going to use it for yet, but it was 50p and I thought, you know what, it's a perfect little picture frame for something on the altar. I also picked up this little spell bottle sized bottle of gemstones. It's just got all sorts of different crystals in here. I haven't opened it and had a proper look through them, but just from sort of looking, I can see that I think there's bits of fluorite, possibly some tiger's eye, possibly some what looks like just a standard quartz, some clear quartz. So yeah, it's just little chips of stones. So this was just 25p, as you can see by the sticker here on the bottom. And as I say, I'm not sure what the crystals are entirely. Now, when I saw it, I just had to pick it up because it's little chips crystals. Do you know what? Even if they're just used for nothing more than decoration, the chips themselves, and I reuse the bottle for a little spell working, I'm fine with that for 25p. I also picked up this little, really nice little sort of cut glass, I think it is, salt shaker. Now obviously this was only one on its own, but I just thought for a little bit of magical salt to have in here to maybe use for a working, or if I just want to sprinkle some, I just thought it was just a really nice way of elevating kind of, you know, just a small salt dish into something that was really nice, so it can sit on the altar and be an actual special item rather than it being just, you know, oh, it's what we keep the salt in the kitchen. And there's no problem doing that. If you just use those containers, or use just a little thimble or a little wooden bowl, that's absolutely perfectly fine. You can even just use the salt sachets. But for me, I like to have items on my altar that at least give an aesthetic feel, because I kind of think it shows that these aren't just mundane items. For me, these are elevated items because they're items that I'm working with magically. So yeah, and this has also got a little silver plate lid, as I found out once I got it home and I had my little auctioneer's or my jeweler's loop and I had been able to have a look at it. Other random items, I got a little tiny, this was 50p, a little tiny metal stainless steel flask. Again, ideal to put on the altar as a little offering container with maybe some, it could be alcohol, it could be fruit juice, it could be anything, just to leave it on the altar for a specific deity or for a specific working, and then, you know, pour it out when I'm done with it. But yeah, for 50p, I just thought, again, it's small, it's silver, it kind of meets the aesthetic that I'm going for, because I'm thinking for my Hecate altar that I haven't sort of fully put together yet, but I'm thinking that's going to be very much black, silver, with maybe a hint of purple, not entirely certain, but I'm kind of working towards that. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to use that for. I also picked up, now this I had a good idea for, you see. Right, let me just show you. So this is, they are these little clips on sticks, and I think it's what you use at a cafe when you've got your table numbers, right? That's what I think it's used for. But there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, and they were 10p each, if you can believe it. 10p each at the tip shop. And I thought they would be perfect to use with a tarot card. So I could do tarot card of the day. I could look at things and, you know, do a reading and have them kind of just sat there like that, being visible rather than sort of laying flat. I thought they could be really interesting for things like that. My self-care oracle cards, if I was pulling an oracle of the day, they could stand on the altar. You know, there's lots of things that I could do with them. And again, I just thought for 10p each, don't exactly know what I'm going to do with them, but I will find a magical use. And again, you're not going to go wrong for 10p, are you, really? And the last little item, now this was 50p, but this was a little, I just think it's so cute. And it's almost like a gnome or a child with a big book and almost a witch's hat. I know it's kind of, it's not quite, but it's almost, isn't it? And for me, I just saw it and I thought, it's given me that kind of slightly gnome type energy, but it's also that innocence of reading fairy tales, and it's got A and B on there. And I just thought it was a really cute little figurine, maybe to sit on the altar when I'm looking for that sort of innocence, maybe to represent something if I'm doing a working for somebody's child or something like that. I don't know, I just thought it was just a really cute little thing that had me in mind of a baby witch, you know what I mean? That's what it was. So anyway, again, that's all little bits and pieces for the altars. Some more practical items that I managed to find. Oops. I got these for 75p. How many's left in there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, 10p a candle. And they're just these little thin taper candles. They're super thin, probably won't burn for much longer than a couple of hours. They were only originally 1.99. They were 75p. Thank you very much. Who's going to turn down a bunch of little candles for 75p? You know what I mean? Right then, this next item was £2.50. I think this might have been my most expensive item. This is a vase. I know, right? And it is disgusting. It needs a bloody good clean. But this is a vase that has lots and lots of these little glass sort of pebbles, these little glass stone things. And I immediately saw them, and I've been wanting to get some of these for ages, but because they're no longer fashionable, I can't find them easily available. And it's just one of those really annoying little things that, you know, when you think you go into, oh, I know Asda at home did them, George at home did them, I know that, you know, various shops have done them. When you actually go looking, can I find them? No. But I'm just going to turn these into runes. So I have a Dremel, and I'm going to hand carve the runes onto these, and then I'm going to use a little bit of gold paint and actually paint over that and create a unique little rune set just for me. And then if I really like them, I might put them on our Etsy shop or on our website. I'm not sure yet, but I just thought they were really, really nice. And there was a whole bunch of them, and the vase for £2.50. And I thought, do you know what, that's really cool, I'm going to use those. And even if I don't do any of that with it, they can go into a clear glass jar rather than an amber glass jar, and they can represent the ocean because they are in that sort of really nice aqua greeny kind of slightly bluey green colour. So I thought I just thought they were really ideal. And again, also I needed another big vase, so £2.50 for both of that. I'm not going to complain. Right, what else have I got in here? I think I've nearly done. Oh no, actually there's a few more items. Wow. So I picked up, let's show you this. I picked up this for 25p, and this is just a little stainless steel, I guess it's a dessert dish, I don't know, or like a little sauce dish. But this again is going to sit on the altar as an offering bowl. My crystals would look lovely in here. I don't know, I just thought it could be useful for so many things, and again, it fits the aesthetic of what I'm looking for the Hecate altar. Hi, I'm just popping in to remind you to hit the subscribe button and then click your bell icon, change your settings to all, that way YouTube should notify you each and every time I upload a video. But if you would like to support myself and this channel just a little bit more, you can always go across to buymeacoffee.com/Beyond Authentic, where you can in fact buy me a coffee. Thank you so much for those of you that are supporting me. It really helps what I do here on the channel. This next item, I don't think I've even got the little sticker on it, so I think it might have only been, again, about 50p. But this is a little cute wooden hexagonal box. I mean, who's not who's not going to get this? Who's going to leave this? You know what I mean? For 50p, who's going to leave it? But I just thought, again, a little manifestation box, a little wooden box to sit on the altar. I can put things in there, little spell workings and things that I want to manifest. I can use it to sit my other items on top of, to elevate them on the altar. I just thought it was really nice. Now, again, I'm not sure... There goes the lid. I'm not sure if I'm going to paint this or whether I'm just going to leave it as it is. I might get Rufus to do some pyrography around it, although this is quite dark sort of wood, stained wood, so I'm not sure how that's going to show up. But maybe some pyrography of some runes or some symbols. I think that might be really nice. A little nice addition just to kind of upcycle it a little bit. This next item is, again, I have a problem when it comes to jars. Okay, I recognize this, I acknowledge this. It's fine. This is a little, it's a jar, but it's got a glass stopper. How cool is that? I absolutely loved it. And there's no real chips around here, no real chips around here. And obviously that's something you need to be careful of when you're looking for glass items. And yeah, it needs a bloody good clean. I don't know what this would have been used for, but I thought this would be really nice to do maybe some moon water workings, or to have, I don't know. I just thought it was such a lovely little thing that I needed it. Again, this one was £1. I know, right? But I don't think it's hugely old. It's probably, what, I don't know, probably a mass-produced item from 2 years ago. Or it could be 20 years old, 30 years old. You know, it really could be sort of 90s onwards. I've got no idea. I wasn't going for it for even really for the practicality. It was the aesthetic. It was just this sort of, I just really liked it. It was kind of pretty without being too chintzy, and also it didn't have flowers on that would limit kind of the purposes that I would use it for. It wasn't full of stars or anything. I just thought it was a really nice little multi-purpose little container. And then the last item, I actually picked up 2 of these, and they're just these little, almost like a little herb jar, but with, again, that pop lid. It could be from Home Bargains, absolutely anywhere. They're not really sort of expensive items to buy, but these were 50p for the 2. Trust me, if you know any witches out there, if you are friends with any witches, if you are ever stuck for Christmas or gift ideas, interesting jars. They don't need to be particularly old or particularly elegant or anything, just interesting jars. Always a good idea to buy your friendly neighbourhood witch. I've actually got an idea to put loads of little birthday candles in here for, you know, when you're on the go and you just want to do a really quick little micro working just to give something a little kick. A little birthday candle's ideal for that. But again, I'm somebody who tends to leave them around and they get broken, and because they're so little and fragile, they snap really easily. So instead of doing that, having them in here with maybe just like a little disc with a little, you know, with a little or a little bit of blue tack on the top with the little flower thing that they come in, something that I can use for a little candle holder on the go. And I think that would be, again, absolutely ideal. But there you go. There's a few items that I have bought. Now, again, a lot of this is for my personal altar, but there are always things that you can get, like these little decanter things, like these little wooden boxes. You can always find interesting, suspicious little wooden boxes. You can always find them at these sort of places. For me, I really like finding items in charity shops and secondhand stores because it means that something hasn't had to be created from scratch. So yeah, I could have got a jar probably quite similar to this, maybe bigger, better jars from One Below, from Poundland. But that means that a lot of energy has gone into creating that item, and then it's been shipped. Now, a lot of pollutants, a lot of energy, a lot of carbon has gone into the environment in getting that item to me. Whereas all this took was a little run to a local charity shop where I picked it off the shelf. You know, all of that work has already been done. There's no new pollutants, no new energy being used in getting this to me, apart from, you know, the power of my 2 feet. So not only that, but because I bought this from a charity shop, my pound is going to help the work of that charity. It's going to help create jobs. It's going to help do all of these good things into the environment, Whereas again, if I'd got this from Poundland or One Below or the Dollar Tree type things in the States, it's just going into a corporation's profits, isn't it? So I know where I would rather spend my £1. There you are, that is it from this video. I just wanted to show you a few of the items that you can pick up when you do go to your local thrift shop or your charity stores, and you can get a few little bargains. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. That really helps me out with YouTube's algorithm, and I will see you on a future video. And as we always say, stay you, stay weird, stay authentic, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.